Hello, you beautiful bastards, and welcome to my so-called show. With the success of Dr. No, it was obvious that Harry Saltzman and Albertine Broccoli were adamant about making another movie, for noble reason. But could the second installment top the first, or were Saltzman and Broccoli overambitious? Well, slutty ladies and not-so-gentlemen, let's continue our 007 month with From Russia with Love. Released in October 1963, From Russia with Love sees James Bond team up with Agent Karim Bey, played by Pedro Armendáriz, and the gorgeous Soviet clerk Titania Romanov, played by Daniela Blanche, in order to recover an encryption device called the Lecter. But it's dear old Jimbo being played, and who is the mysterious Spectre? From Russia with Love was and still is an intriguing, well-crafted spy thriller, full of twists, foul play, paranoid mind games and hot girls scrapping.
Nice.
And while the first was well made but rough around the edges, this feels more slicker, more suspenseful and much darker, taking more inspiration from the suspenseful Hitchcock thrillers. It even expands on the first movie, finally introducing the secret organisation first mentioned in Dr. No, Spectre, and they generally do come across as some dangerous adversaries. They're the puppeteers pulling the strings on our unsuspecting protagonists. And it also introduces us to Blofeld for the first time. And to me, this is still his best appearance. You never see his face, and honestly, I prefer the mystery. It makes him more sinister, especially with lines like this.
Siamese fighting fish, fascinating creatures, brave but on the whole stupid. Yes, they're stupid. Except for the occasional one such as we have here, who lets the other two fight. While he waits. Waits until the survivor is so exhausted that he cannot defend himself. And then, like Spectre, he strikes.
And the fact that people working for him are constantly afraid to be in the same room with him says it all. This is a guy who obviously does not take incompetence lightly, even to the point where his agents blame the other for shit going wrong. The film even does a good job establishing how Spectre works.
Training is useful, but there is no substitute for experience.
I agree. We use live targets as well.
And even Vladek Sherbel makes playing chess look creepy. Walter Gotell makes his first appearance, which would then lead him to his more memorable turn as General Gogol. But it's Robert Shaw's chilling performance as Red who shines the most out of Bond's adversaries. This guy is one nasty fucker. Unfeeling, ruthless, determined to finish the job and kill anyone who gets in his way, but also cunning and deceptive, playing the bumbling fool in order to fool his enemies before revealing his true self. The man never says a word through the majority of his screen time, and when he finally does, it does not disappoint. The scene with him and Bond after he reveals who he is one of my favourite scenes. It's creepy, suspenseful, with Shaw really showing how powerful of an actor he is. And it also shows how Bond is basically the flip side of the same coin to guys like Red.
You see the headlines? British agent murders beautiful Russian spy, then commits suicide.
Tell me, which lunatic asylum did they get you out of?
Don't make it tougher on yourself. My orders are to kill you and deliver the Lecter. How I do it's my business.
Red is basically what Bond could have been if he was trained by the other side. And it also leads to one of the best fight scenes in the entire Bond franchise. It's brutal, claustrophobic, intense, and raw. There is no technicality to it. It's just two men going full-on animalistic, trying to gain the advantage in order to survive. And I like the fact Red is basically killed with his own garrote wire. I like the fact the same wire used to kill the fake Bond is now being used to kill him by the real Bond. That is both brutal and clever. In fact, I love it when a villain's death in a Bond movie is like a big fuck you to him. Just like in Dr. No, where his metal hands were his strength, but also had a hand or two in his death.
I'll get me coat.
And the people Bond teams up with are very likeable. Daniela Blanche is very charming as the unassuming Soviet spy, and even though she's not the most complex, there is still an innocence to her. She's romantic, she's naive, and I can't help but find her adorable. She's just an ordinary woman thrown into a big game of chess, unaware she's a pawn, and she does save his life at the end as well.
woman.
Yes. She's had her kicks.
Pedro Armendáriz is very endearing as Istanbul agent Karim, and he might be one of my favourite Bond allies. The man is just incredibly charming, and every time he appears on screen, you just feel welcomed. And he and Connery really do have great chemistry. If this film was just about these two sitting in the bar talking, I'd watch it.
I'm hungry. My friend, she's got you dangling.
That doesn't matter. All I want is that Lecter.
All? Are you sure that's all you want?
Well.
Sadly, Armendáriz suffered from painful cancer that affected him during filming, but he continued to work in order to secure his family financially. Sadly, the pain became too much, and in June 1963, he took his own life. He was only 51. The regulars do well playing their familiar roles, and this scene does make me laugh.
Dushka, tell me the truth. Am I as exciting as all those Western girls?
Oh, once when I was with Em in Tokyo, we had an interesting experience.
Thank you, Miss Moneypenny. That's all, that's all.
We also get the first appearance of Desmond Llewellyn as Q, who also brings the first Bond gadget, the briefcase. And while it might not be the most extravagant gadget in comparison to the ones in later movies, it is more realistic and more believable. Just like the garrote wire in the watch. It was something real spies used during World War II, and it also sets up for a decent payoff.
Now, normally to open a case like that, you move the catches to the side. If you do, the cartridge will explode in your face.
There's still the odd nitpick, just like in Dr. No. There's a scene that bafflingly has the explosive Bond theme play while he's sweeping his hotel room for bugs, which I'm still questioning why. This music should be playing when shit goes down, not when he's walking around the room. And don't get me wrong, I like the scenes where he's checking if the place isn't bugged. It shows he's smart, perceptive, while feeling like something a real spy would do, but he's just walking around the room. Play a more slower version of it. And as much as I love the more grounded approach, it does lack that sense of adventure that gave the identity of the franchise. But it doesn't take away the romantic aspect of the movie. And it is still one of my favourite Bond films, as well as one of my favourite spy movies in general. It's suspenseful, romantic, classy, and with writing as sharp as James Bond's finely tailored suits. This is a Bond adventure I can't help but love. And that was From Russia with Love. Next up, Goldfinger!